as you guys know, I'm sure, many companies, Western corporations, have begun withdrawing, pulling out of Russia over the war in Ukraine. We were discussing earlier the effects of Visa and MasterCard pulling out and effectively handing their market share over to China's UnionPay. One of the big companies to pull out of Russia is McDonald's. And actually, this goes back a bit to the Cold War because, you know, obviously there was no McDonald's in Russia, in the Soviet Union. Once the Soviet Union ceased to exist, you had the first McDonald's open up in Moscow. And this was, of course, viewed as in Pushkin Square, right? And this was viewed as sort of a symbolic takeover of Western corporate might. You know, this was, I know it sounds silly, it's a fast food restaurant, but it's not silly. America, the imperial hegemon of our time, and it particularly in 1991, became a hyperpower, not a superpower, a hyperpower. And American, you know, corporations represent America in many ways. And so you had this McDonald's opening up with huge queues, long lines. And it's symbolic of the collapse of the Soviet Union. And now McDonald's has left. Right? So McDonald's has pulled out of Russia. But they've got a replacement. Shall we take a look at the replacement? So this is from the Washington Post. The headline reads, "There's a McDonald's replacement in Russia with a strangely familiar logo." McDonald's is now closed in Russia, part of a wave of companies exiting the country after its invasion of Ukraine sparked sanctions from the West. But a local alternative, Uncle Vanya, appears to be gearing up to take a bite of the Russian burger business with a strangely familiar logo. In a March 12th trademark filing, Uncle Vanya's yellow and red logo looks almost identical to the golden arches of McDonald's, but tilted 90 degrees to the right. So that's the logo. That's Uncle Vanya. They form part of the letter B in the Cyrillic alphabet, which corresponds to the V in Vanya. Though none of these new restaurants have opened yet, the plan is apparently to take over existing shuttered McDonald's restaurants. The new eatery takes its name from the 19th century play Uncle Vanya by Russia's Anton Chekhov. So, the Russian State Duma had earlier suggested that Russia would replace all McDonald's with Uncle Vanyas. It's a striking resemblance, isn't it? Can't deny that. So, they're saying, Volodin, who's the Speaker of Russia's lower house in parliament, said that they're going to take the McDonald's over with Uncle Vanya's and that, quote, jobs must be preserved and prices reduced. Officials have also said Russia can ignore patents owned by entities from countries that Moscow sees as hostile. Of course, because, you know, they've effectively severed ties with Russia. I mean, you know, what are they going to do? Sue Russia? There's no... They're sanctioning Russia. You know, that's the worst they could do. So, of course, they're going to ignore the patents and the logos, right? In any case... look, they mentioned the arrival of McDonald's, like I was telling you. Here we go, at Pushkin Square. So, in any case, let me show you the alternative to Instagram, because as you guys know, Instagram also pulled out of, well, no, let me rephrase that. Instagram allowed hate speech against Russians. Facebook and Instagram, same, they're owned by Meta. They made exceptions to the rules where you can call for hate speech for Russians to be killed and even to glorify Nazis like the Azov Battalion. So as a result, Russia banned them. But, I mean, at the same time, Instagram had de facto locked out everyone in Russia anyway. They couldn't use it. You could only access it with a VPN. So 80 million, 80 million users, Instagram users in Russia, gone. And now there's an alternative called Rosgram. Okay, so the app, which is called Rosgram, was recently revealed ahead of its planned investor launch on March 28th. And again, this is kind of like what's happening with Uncle Vanya. So, yeah, it's a copy. Just like Uncle Vanya is a copy of McDonald's, this is a copy of Instagram. So, again, I don't think anything is going to happen here in terms of copyright or patents, because they've sanctioned Russia. There's nothing they would do anyway, nothing worse. So, just a few interesting, you know, it's a short video, but I still wanted to show you these alternatives that are popping up. And again, obviously the effects of sanctions are much worse than this. But you know, it's interesting. What is that? What is that saying again? Need is the mother of invention. I wanted to show you something very funny. You know, speaking of McDonald's, and there's a video that went viral. Let's take a look, shall we? And again, it's about McDonald's being banned in Russia. Let's take a look.
Hello, Americans. This is Natasha from Russia. And we want to thank you for all your sanctions, for taking away from our country Coca-Cola, KFC, McDonald's, and all that shit. We understand that you take care of our healthiness. Healthy. And that's why we'll be stronger and more beautiful and without fat. So, we take care of you too. And that's why we cut our gas. So, you have to walk by foot instead of using your cars. Don't thank you. Don't say thank you. Friendship. I am so sorry. I have to go to feed my bear and drink vodka and play balalaika right now. See you later. From Russia with love.
Not bad, huh? Like a good bit of humor there. We're gonna cut the gas so you can walk. It's very healthy for you. Oh man.